This video kind of late over here, but I really wanted to show you some very interesting connections between the people who are trying to block Călin Georgescu from running for president by appealing, by challenging his candidacy at the Constitutional Court of Romania, and a Soros-funded NGO, which is responsible for censorship in the EU. That's really, really interesting, especially because the mission of this NGO is to stop Donald Trump, to take down Elon Musk, to censor any kind of dissenting, conservative, right-wing voice. So let's get started. I'll try to be as quick as possible because I know these exhaustive videos are not that interesting for some people, but there is no other way to show you, and I have to do so. Okay, so let's start with this petition. This petition was launched actually very quickly after the first round of the presidential elections in Romania, the round that was actually canceled, as you remember, and they wanted to essentially, I don't know, stop Călin Georgescu and his life. I don't know what they actually wanted to accomplish because we were supposed to have the second round of the elections where people could vote either for Călin Georgescu or against Călin Georgescu and support the globalist candidate. So I don't know, this petition didn't make sense except for, making a statement against Călin Georgescu and labeling him in all kinds of crazy ways. They weren't that successful, as you can see, because they only gathered 5,000 signatures. This NGO is actually responsible, as you can see in this Romanian article, for the censorship of over 500 pages, groups, and accounts of people who are right-wing, either politicians, groups that had many users on them, and so on and so forth. They brag about this. They brag about how they closed. You will see in a bit in Germany, they blocked content relating to the AfD party in France. They took down pages and groups that were supporting Marine Le Pen's party. They were actually blocking any kind of discussion over the theme of migrants, of excessive migration, of too many open borders. In Italy, they were blocking League and Five Star Movement. In Poland, they were attacking the Law and Justice Party by taking down their fan bases, pages, and groups. In the UK, they were blocking discussions about migrants, about those gangs that are increasingly more violent in the UK, and obviously any kind of group that was run by Tommy Robinson, who is actually, I think, as of this moment, he is still in jail. They were bragging with this kind of stuff, people. In Spain, they were actually bragging that they were censoring the Vox party. And actually, as you'll see here, in 2023, they actually interfered in Spain's elections, okay, by blasting banners all over Spain and calling the right-wing Vox party's leader an extremist and calling for other parties to form a alliance against Vox, which they did. So again, this is in 2023. Now, this is important because it is the proof that George Soros is funding this NGO, Avaz, who is actually responsible, by the way, for all those crazy climate change policies. They even actually made it to the European High Court of Justice, Human Rights and Justice, and actually obtained a ruling that essentially made climate change a fundamental human right, which is crazy. Now we're getting to the connection with Călin Georgescu's candidacy and how they are fighting against it. This woman called Alina Bărgăoanu is actually a teacher at the university that is spearheading the fight against Călin Georgescu. And now I will show you the website in itself so you can see what I'm talking about. This guy, Remus Pricopie, who is the rector of the National School for Political Sciences and Administration in Romania, which is state-funded, by the way, it's a state university. This is the guy who is challenging Călin Georgescu's candidacy. I wrote about him a lot on my X profile. You can see more details there. And this woman is actually the dean of the Communications and Public Relations College in outside the School of National Political Sciences and Administration in Romania. So this woman is a teacher and also the dean of this state-funded college. Now, let's go back to the photos. This woman is actually one of the biggest promoters of censorship online. As you can see in the title, she says we have access to too much information in social media and we're essentially too dumb to know what's real, what's not real, and to use critical thinking. So the solution is less internet. These are the people, okay? These are the people who are promoting the fight against Călin Georgescu's right to run for president, okay? Whether you like him or not, he should have the right to run for president, especially since he is scoring very high numbers in all of the polls, over 40% in all of them. Even the worst ones put him at over 40% in the intent to vote. Now, what's the connection between these people and Avaz? Well, this person, Alina Bârgăuanu, who, again, I repeat, is part of a network that I've documented for years in Romania, especially during the pandemic. This group has been promoting policy in Romania to suppress disinformation online, whether it's on COVID, whether it's on war, whether it's on conservative issues. This woman was it. She was like the head of this network. Now, this woman in this particular article, but many others alike, she's actually quoting Avaz a lot and is supportive of their work. But what is Avaz's work? Because this is where things get a lot more interesting. Surprise, surprise, Avaz is actually the NGO responsible for getting the Digital Services Act voted. Not only voted, but actually created in itself. These people, these unelected officials, these Soros Muppets are the ones and the reason for which the Digital Services Act even exists in the EU. Okay, so the basis, the foundation for censorship, and the censorship bill in Romania, by the way, that again I've documented extensively on my X profile, these are all based, and censorship in your country is based on the Digital Services Act, which was created by these people. Okay, over here, you can see the draft documents that they were working on, and you can even see a book or a leaflet, I don't know what to call it, with Thierry Breton being presented as the leader who can save our future by promoting the Digital Services Act, okay? This is highly, highly interesting because Thierry Breton, as you may know, is the guy who said that if things go south in Germany, we're going to do what we did in Romania, which is cancel the Romanian elections, okay? He went on TV and said that. Everyone saw the entire clip and saw exactly what he said, okay? We can expect this everywhere, okay? Censorship bills